How's it going out there? Welcome from H2TechVideos. Today I'm going to be going over the Nook HD for beginners, and this is going to be with the new Google Play Store. For some of you may know and some of you may not know that the Google Play Store has now come to the Nook, and so what that means is now your selection of apps has vastly increased, because now you have this little guy right here, which is called the Google Play Store, which now you have access to over 750,000 applications, where before you were only able to download apps that are available through the Barnes & Noble store. So we're going to go into all that in the video, but just wanted to make this point that this is a brand new for beginner video, probably the most updated version. So I hope you guys found this helpful, or hope you find it helpful. Alright, let's get started here. So I'm going to go over first just the outer edge of kind of what you see up here. And first we have up here where it'll have the name of the person's Nook, Teddy, that's my nickname, so Teddy's Nook. And if you tap on that, you actually have access to multiple profiles. So maybe you share this, or you let your kids use it sometimes, or you let your husband or whatever. You can actually create a separate profile for them, and it'll only have their books and their apps. So you can kind of keep things separate, and if you don't want anybody to mess up your settings, you could just switch between the profiles. And I have another profile here, and I can just tap it, and then that will take me to this other profile right here. So that's how you would kind of switch easily between different profiles. Now, next up here we have a notification section. It's kind of hard to see. There's little icons that will pop up here, so you just tap at the top, and you can see these different notifications. So it's saying that a couple of my apps have updated. It's synced with my calendar, so it's giving me a calendar appointment, as well as it's letting me know I have 18 new emails, and a couple of other apps have updated. So this is kind of cool. You can go here from time to time. The Nook will make a noise to let you know it has notification, or you'll see this. You'll see this little bubble right here. And basically, if you see any icon up here, that tells you have notification, and go ahead and just tap, and that will bring it up just like that. Now, if you tap it, you also have a shortcut right here. Actually, what that little button did here, that's what clears out your notification. So if it keeps telling you have new emails, and you're like, I got it, I know, that little button I just pressed, that's what basically clears out the notifications. It doesn't erase anything, it just takes them off of that section, so you don't have to be bothered by that. Next, if we go to the right here, we have our clock, and we have a couple of indicators here. So we have our clock, we have our Wi-Fi symbol, we have our settings wheel, and our battery indicator. Now basically, by just tapping the area, it will bring up this menu here. Now if I tap the clock or the Wi-Fi or the battery, it's going to all bring up the same thing. And this is a shortcut to a list of settings and options. Let me zoom in a little closer so you can see it. And so the first shortcut we have is for home settings. These are just some basic things you can set in terms of your inbox, in terms of you downloading content, how your newspapers will work. And so you won't go here too often. There's not much to be changed in here, but just it's good to know what it is. And then we have an arrow in the corner, and if we tap this arrow, it will take us back to our home screen. And if we tap it again, next we have our brightness. You can actually control how bright or how dim the screen is by just moving that little lever right there. So adjust that at your convenience, whatever's going to look better, allow you to see the Nook clearer without hurting your eyes. And next we have here the Wi-Fi section. Now this would be how you would connect to a Wi-Fi network, or how you would disconnect. For example, I'm at home, I want to use my Wi-Fi, so Wi-Fi is on and this button is blue. If I swipe this to the left, it turns it off. No connection to the internet. Now you're probably saying, why would I want to disconnect from the internet? I mean, doesn't everything run through the internet? It sure does. However, what if you're driving to a friend's house, or you're going on a road trip where you're not going to have Wi-Fi? Well, then you would want to turn Wi-Fi off, because it will actually save your battery. When Wi-Fi is on, the Nook is constantly searching and trying to grab for a Wi-Fi or wireless network. And if you know you're not going to be in an area where there's Wi-Fi, and you know you're going to want to use this, you want to just turn that off. Just save yourself some trouble. If not, you're going to come back to it in a couple hours. You're going to be like, oh my god, why did it just drain 20 or 30%? Well, it's because it's constantly looking for that Wi-Fi signal. So do yourself a favor on that. Now next you have what's called airplane mode. Now you can also, if you want to turn off your Wi-Fi, you can just simply put it in airplane mode. And this is a special mode that is actually set up for it's set up for when you fly, so that all of your outside communication to the reader is turned off. So for example, you're not on the plane and it's not searching for Wi-Fi, or I believe it will turn off the Bluetooth as well and all the other things searching. There's not too many things that will search, but basically when you get on planes, they ask you to put on airplane mode because it automatically just disconnects any signals coming out of the Nook. So if you want to turn off Wi-Fi, you can also just do it right by putting it on airplane mode. The next thing you have here is the lock rotation, and so what this does is when it's off, when you tilt the Kindle sideways, it's going to go sideways, and when you tilt it back up, this is, by the way, called portrait, and this is called landscape when it's in those different positions. So if you want to lock it and you want to say, well, you know what, when I turn the Kindle, I don't want it to turn, I don't want everything to rotate, I want it to stay the same way. Well, you can turn on the rotation lock, and once that is on, then if I turn the Kindle sideways, guess what, it's not going to move. It's going to stay the same way. If I go like this, it will stay the same. However, again, if I were to turn this off and I turn it upside down, guess what, it's going to rotate. It's going to adjust to how I have it. So that's a cool thing to keep in mind. Sometimes there's things that you want to rotate, sometimes you don't want things to rotate, so now you know how to do it. Real simple. Next thing we have is all settings. And what your all settings is going to do, again, this is where you're going to be able to turn Bluetooth on and off. There's no shortcut in the shortcut menu for this, so that's how you would turn on Bluetooth. You also have a lot of other settings. You have a power save mode, which will actually help to conserve your battery life. It actually dims down the screen, you may have noticed. So this is good, especially if your battery is low when you're trying to make it last longer. You definitely want to put it on that power save option. You also have the brightness adjuster as well. And this is an important one. This is screen timeout. You can actually set it so your screen doesn't go off right away. What a screen timeout is if you have not touched your Nook in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour, then it goes off. Right now it's set to 2 minutes. So if I don't touch this for 2 whole minutes, the screen will dim down and it'll automatically put itself to sleep. Okay, now if you want to avoid that, maybe you say, well, I don't want it to go to sleep, I want it to stay on. Maybe you're trying to read a book and it keeps going off because maybe you're just trying to finish that page or whatever. You can set it to 5 minutes or 15 minutes or even an hour if you really need a lot of time. You don't want to worry about continuing to wake it up from it going to sleep. So that is where you would do that. Now I'm not going to go through every one because there's a lot of things that are contained in this, but this is your settings section. This is where you get to all the big details that you would need if you need to make tweaks to your Nook. So that's how you get there, is again just simply by the wheel up here in the corner. You can't see that wheel. Yeah, so we tap the wheel, and then all the way at the bottom is our all settings. Okay, now to get rid of this menu, we just tap back on the time or the wheel again, and then it'll go away. So that's kind of what's going on at the top of your screen. Now at the bottom of your screen, you do have a search my Nook function, and with this you can actually search for anything from a book to a movie to a song to an application. For example, I have Spotify installed, which is a music application. I can type in Spotify and you can kind of see what's happening right here. It found it, so it looked through the whole Nook and it found the application Spotify, and if I tap it, then it'll let me go right into the music application, which is called Spotify. So kind of cool. If you can't find something, this is going to be your best friend. You can just type it in here and it'll basically help you pull it right up. Okay, The next thing we have to the bottom right is we have a multitask button. Now that might not be the exact name, but that's basically what it does. When you tap it, it will show you all of the recent applications that you have opened. Whether it be an app, a book, a movie, a song, whatever, you can go back and forth between them by just tapping on that symbol. So for example, I can go back to my maps. And let's say I'm in the maps right now and I want to switch to Spotify. I want to change my song. I'm just going to tap that button and tap Spotify, and now it'll go right to that. So this is cool because it actually allows you to switch between your applications without having to close them. When tablets first came out, basically what you had to do was if I was in Pandora, I'm listening to music, I have to actually close Pandora, go back to the home screen, and then I have to go and open up another application, one at a time, or a book, or whatever. So this allows you to switch between multiple things faster without having to, again, close it, open, kind of like that. Now at the bottom here we have our Nook button, and what this does is it always takes you back to the home screen. So for example, if I'm in my James Patterson book and I'm reading, I'm having a great time, and I want to get back to the home screen, guess what? All I have to do is tap that button and it'll take me back here. I could be in the settings. I could have gone to the home settings and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. How do I get back to my stuff? Tap the button, it will take you right back home. So this is going to be your best friend. If you get lost, you get stuck, just tap that button and we'll take you back home. And then that's all it does. Some of the other tablets, when you tap this twice or when you hold down on it, it launches other things or functions. This doesn't do that. It just takes you home and that's it. Okay. Now, next we have our couple of different things here. We have our library. We have our, excuse me, tap something. We have our library, our apps, the web, which is going on the internet, email, and shopping. Okay, these are 5 shortcuts that will take you to different sections of the Nook. So if you were to go to your library, which is by tapping here, it will actually show you different books that you have installed, magazines. It'll also show you TV shows. It pretty much shows you everything. Apps, kid stuff, catalog, newspaper, my shelf, scrapbook, my files. So your library just kind of is where everything that you have on the Nook is contained. If you wanted to see it all at a glance, this is kind of how you would do it, and you can just swipe left and right. By the way, this is a stylus I'm using. This does not come with the Nook. You can purchase it separately at like a Best Buy. It's by a company called Bamboo. It's a bamboo stylus and it's $29.99. As you can see, I enjoy using it because it makes it very easy to control the Nook without getting a lot of fingerprints on it. So I'd recommend pick up one of these. It will definitely help with using your Nook a lot smoother. Alright, so that was the library here. We're going to go back home because that's what the home button does. Now if we go to our apps next, you can get right to basically seeing all the apps that are currently installed on your Nook. So I have Chrome, Dolphin Browser, Evernote, Gmail, Pandora, Google Maps. So these are all the apps I currently have installed. Now, you really can't shop from here. This is just to see the apps that you have installed on the Nook itself. If you want to shop, you have a couple of ways you can do that. You have a shop button that's right here, which is in the corner. And the internet is not connected, so I'm going to connect that. And we are connected to Wi-Fi because we see it right here. And now we are getting into the shop section. Now I have to give a couple of disclaimers on this area because first of all, this is where you would buy books, movies, music, apps, TV shows, things like that. But when you go to the shop section, you're only looking at things you can buy from Amazon. Oh, excuse me. Only things you can buy from Barnes and Noble's digital media store, which is very limited. So I'm not discouraging it, but I would say don't waste your time looking through here first. If you want to download something, the first place you should go, let's go back home. You're going to go to the Google Play Store, and I'm going to show you where that is, which is, it's this symbol right here. And on the home screen, you just use your finger and just swipe through these until you get to the Play Store, the Google Play Store, which is right here. And this contains all the things that the Barnes & Noble store would have, just about books, music, movies, TV shows, apps. But you'll find a lot more apps, and you will find a lot more sales. So it's just better to come here first, basically is what I'm saying. You want to download from here first, not from the Barnes & Noble one, because the Barnes & Noble one is a little difficult to use. The Google one is a lot simpler. And at the top, everything is broken down. Let me show you this here. So if you notice, we have our categories. We have apps, games, movies and TV, magazines, books, and music. So for example, maybe you want to download the new Words with Friends game. We're going to tap apps. And then I'm going to tap the little search magnifying glass right there. And I'm going to type in Words with Friends. And it's the first one that comes up in the list. And I'm going to tap on that. And there it is. And I can just tap install. And then it'll ask for a little bit more permission. And I'm going to tap the green button right there. And also what I'm just showing you right now is how you download a standard application too. So, and now it's installing, and there's a little, darn, sorry, I'm moving the tripod there, my apologies. You'll see it say installing right here. When it's finished, there'll be a button over here that'll say open, and you can tap open, and it will take you right to the application. Now let me tell you a couple other cool benefits of using the Google Play Store over the Barnes & Noble store. In the Google Play Store, you can actually return an app. You have 15 minutes from the moment you purchase the app that you can actually play it, try it. If you don't like it, you can return it and actually get a refund on your money. The Google Play Store is the only marketplace, the digital marketplace, that you can actually return an app. With Apple, when you buy an app, it's done. You can't return it. Same thing with Barnes & Noble, same thing with Amazon. So that's why I say use the Google one first, because there's no harm, no foul. Return it if you don't like it, and don't feel like you have to keep that app that you don't like. Now, I also need to disclaim this. Every app that's in the Google Play Store is not available for this device. So I have found one or two things that I did search for that I couldn't download onto the Nook. And one of them, I believe, was Instagram. So let's try it. You see right here, let me show you this disclaimer. It actually says your device isn't compatible with this version. So unfortunately, you still can't get Instagram on the Nook. And I was so excited when this update came out that you can get the Google Play Store. I was like, cool, now we can get Instagram. Well, you still can't get that yet. So just keep in mind, not every single app will be available, but there will be some. There's more that are coming and they're going to make available soon. So, and that long drawn out was also how you download apps as well. Okay. Now we also have our email section. You can actually set up an email account, and you can get your emails right on your device by putting in your email address and your password, and they'll ask you a few more questions. And then when people send you emails, you can actually be notified on here, and you can read them and respond right from the Nook. So all that would be done through the email button right there. And then we have our web button, and what the web button does is this takes you onto the internet. And what's cool, which I didn't know this, is they've actually switched over to Chrome. So now the web browser is Google Chrome. So all the internet surfing is going to be crisp and smooth, because Chrome is a great browser for surfing the internet. So for example, I can type in here google.com, and it'll take me right to the Google search. Okay. So now I'm at Google, and I can type in anything I want. I can type in good books. Okay. And so I have a full web browser and surfing the internet. That's cool. So you can go on Facebook through here, or there's probably also a Facebook app, but that's how you would browse the internet. It's just by using the web button right there. Last thing I want to show you here is you can actually pin things to your screens. You have 5 screens, and let me show you how you'll know that. At the very top you have these dots. Can't get too close. Okay. So with these dots, every time you switch screens, then the dot moves over. So you have 5 dots in total. That means you have 5 screens that you can actually put things on. And usually the 2 to the left don't have anything on them. In fact, this is the middle screen. This is the right. So you can actually pin things, or you can save things onto that screen. And I'll show you how to do that. You basically, with your finger, just hold down the screen and a menu comes up, and you have library, apps, wallpapers, bookmarks, and widgets. So for example, we can actually put let's see, what's a good widget? There's a Twitter widget. Wow. So you can actually put a Twitter widget there, and what that'll do is it'll let you view new tweets that you've posted, friends have posted. You also have, there's a Pandora widget you can use to control your songs. There's a photo gallery. There's a YouTube one as well. Not enough space for that. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Google Search, which is a really convenient widget. You can just tap that and begin to search the internet. And then there's a little microphone here you can tap if you want to speak something. Search good restaurants, and it'll do that. You can also, this is my favorite, I always have this on my tablets. There's a widget that works for your email. So for example, I can put this here, and for my Gmail, I can make it so I can look at all of my emails right on here. I usually, okay, you have to hit done first, and then I can actually go up and down here and look at all my new emails right from the screen. I don't have to open up an application to do that. And then we can hold down on this and then remove it by tapping remove. Now we have a couple other options here. Hold down the screen. You have bookmarks. You can bookmark websites, different things you've seen online. You can change the wallpaper. So if you want to change the background of how the Nook, like right now the Nook is plain. It just has a white paper background. We can change that. Hold down the screen and we can tap wallpaper. We have a couple of different fun ones here. This is my favorite right here. The man underwater. And you just tap set wallpaper. And now you have this cool underwater theme to your Kindle. See that? So that's really cool. Hold down again. We can move an app. Let's say you always play Words with Friends. Well, you know what? Let's take it and let's put it on the front. So now when you open it up, you can just tap there and you can get right into it. You can also put a library here. So if you want a shortcut to get right to your books, we can hold down this. Or maybe not. Oh, you would basically open up the book section first, and then I could take this sample book and I could move it and have this also on the front too. So there's a lot that they've added to really allow you to enjoy it more. I really just kind of wanted to graze the surface because there's so much this device does. But those are the basic things you would need to know to get started. And a few more things I want to show you real quickly are cosmetically. We have our sleep button right here that you press to put it to sleep. Press it again to wake it up. Have our jack here to plug in headphones. We have our volume rockers to turn up the volume up and down. Here we have our proprietary slot to plug in the charger, as well as the cable you could use to sync up your music with it as well. And then here is the slot for a micro SD card. You could put a micro SD card in there to expand the memory, to be able to put more music, more videos, things like that. And that's the back with the 2 speakers. And that's it, guys. Again, I wanted to keep it real simple. I just wanted to, again, this is for beginners, go over the basics. So I hope you guys did find this helpful. Make sure you like the video if you did find it helpful. Subscribe to H2TechVideos. Keep watching. Love hearing your feedback. And take care and have a good one.